A lot of fight fans are excited with the news that Ronda Rousey and GINA Carano will be stepping back inside a cage, but Sean Strickland, he's only interested in these two getting it on if they get their clothes off. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. It was announced that we're getting a big MMA fight, the return of Ronda Rousey, the return of GINA Carano. Two women now that are, let's be honest, well past their best. Two women that have not fought a professional fight in over 9 years and over 15 years respectively, but regardless, that doesn't matter. They're getting down. They're getting back to action. It's going to be Ronda Rousey versus GINA Carano, and Sean Strickland does not give a shit. He went on a big rant about how nobody cares about women's MMA. He said that nobody really cares about women's sports in general, and he believes that women have ruined sports. They've been empowered too much, and that, yeah, they're not, women excel at lots of things, but sports supposedly not being one of them. So I think it's fair to say that Sean Strickland is not a massive fan of this fight.
Fuck me, dude. Ronda and GINA, how fucking, whoever thought about that, man? Are they gonna be half naked? I guess I will be half naked. Might be making it a little better. I don't know, dude. Like, well, let's be honest. Ronda Rousey can fight. That bitch can fight. She's Olympian. We're fucking Olympian. Bitch can fight. GINA always sucked. I like GINA. She's like super conservative. She was hot. You know, I was like a kid when she fought. I made after her once or twice back in the day, but that was like Strike Force days, right? How long ago was that? I was like a kid, dude. I was like, what? But yeah, GINA, she always kind of sucked. You know, she was just hot. And back then, like, women's MMA was like slightly worse than it is now, which isn't saying a lot. No, you nobody gives a fuck. Maybe if you put some oil on it, you know, do some dollar bills, people might give a fuck. But really, like, not many people give a fuck about women's MMA in general, you know? It's like the WNBA. Everyone's like, oh, like, no one gives a fuck about women's sports.
So this is the full quote then from Sean Strickland on his interview when he was asked about the upcoming fight between Ronda Rousey and GINA Carano. Strickland said, quote, Ronda Rousey's going to steamroll her. Ronda Rousey's an Olympian that was a multi-time world champion. GINA Carano was pretty at a time when women's MMA sucked. I mean, it's still not very good, but when GINA Carano was fighting, it was significantly worse. Ronda Rousey's going to fucking steamroll her, and we're just going to watch two middle-aged women fucking going through menopause, fighting each other. I don't know. I have no interest in that. Who gives a fuck? Oh, fuck me, dude. Ronda and GINA. Whoever thought about that? Are they going to be half naked? I guess they will be half naked. Might make it a little bit better. Let's be honest. Ronda Rousey can fight. That bitch can fight. She's an Olympian. A weird fucking Olympian. I think she lost a few fights to her ex. But the bitch could fight. GINA always sucked. I like GINA. She's like super conservative. She was hot. But GINA, she's always kind of sucked, you know? She was just hot. And back then, like, women's MMA was like slightly worse than it is now, which isn't saying a lot. But really, not many people are going to give a fuck about women's MMA in general. It's like the WNBA. Everyone's like, oh no, no one gives a fuck about women's sports. Like, who cares? You're watching two chicks. Like, you take the weakest, softest motherfucker here, and you guys would beat up Amanda Nunes. There's nothing wrong with women. They do great things. They cook, they clean, they make good food. Like, women are great. We've got to remember what women excel at. Having kids, being mothers, making food, cleaning house. The problem is, we've empowered them too much to ruin society. End of quote. So, yeah, Sean Strickland there, going off in the deep end, going off on a massive rant. I don't know if he truly believes everything that he says there. I think he probably does believe it to a certain extent, but he ramps it up just for the publicity, just to try and be entertaining, just to try and be a little bit controversial, because I think that women's sports kind of women have ruined a lot of sports, to be honest, with the publicity and just trying to force it down our throats and try and pretend that it's on the same level. You look at football and you've got women constantly coming out and they're crying and complaining that they don't get paid the same as the men, when in reality any person with a brain can understand that they just do not generate the same kind of money. There's no interest in women's football like there is in men's football. Therefore, you do not deserve the same amount of pay. And that's, of course, before you take in any factors of skill or any levels like that or ability. So, I think that there has been I think women's sports have been a little bit detrimental to sports overall. I think there's a place for women. It's the same thing with wrestling. There's definitely a place for women in wrestling, but it's not taking up 50% of the card. Women shouldn't be taking up 50% of the card. Just like in MMA, just like in boxing, I think both of those sports would suffer big time if 50% of the match cards were female fights. I believe that. And as for Sean Strickland saying that they were hot and that he's probably jacked off to what's her name, GINA Carano at one point. I mean, he makes a good point there about the fact that that is a selling factor that women have. There's no doubt about that. When it comes to females in sports, when you look at the top females, they tend to be the most attractive ones, and they can use their looks to their advantage. When it comes to women in wrestling, the most attractive women have always been the women that are most memorable, like Trish Stratus, Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler. Lita kind of broke the mold. She was very hot, but she looked different. Point is, like Sable, Sunny, the most attractive ones are the ones that will really be remembered. Same with MMA. A lot of times it's the attractive one, like Paige Van Zandt. She wasn't a great fighter, but she had a lot of media followers and on social media. She had a lot of fans purely because she was attractive. And guess what? She ended up taking those fans and she started doing OnlyFans. She did OF and she made a lot of money, but she had a bigger following. She had a bigger fan base than the majority of the women. Even though she wasn't one of the best female fighters, she was one of the better looking fighters. So therefore, she had a bigger fan base. She was more popular. It's as simple as that. Football. You look at Alicia Lehman. She's probably the most famous footballer in the world. If you look at Instagram, social media, I would have to imagine that Alicia Lehman has the most followers out of anybody. And she's probably one of the most well-known women footballers of all time. But she's not the best. She's nowhere near the best. But she is probably the most attractive. She looks like a glamour model. So therefore, again, it's beauty that's really helping her overall product. And yeah, I think we see this all the time. So women can use their looks and their beauty to their advantage. And I think Sean Strickland was trying to play in on that with a little bit with his comments there. But I mean, I kind of agree with the guy to a certain extent. GINA Carano, Ronda Rousey, both passed it. Both haven't fought in 15 years. But GINA Carano was hot. Ronda Rousey, I think, was reasonably hot as well compared to other female fighters. I truly believe that if these women were totally unattractive, nobody would give a shit about this fight, regardless of how good they were in their prime. This fight wouldn't be happening. I would argue if these women were like 2 out of 10s or 1 out of 10s, I don't think this fight would happen. I think this fight is happening. One reason this fight's happening is because both the women are attractive and they have that look. They pass. They're both marketable from a beauty standpoint. I think if they were both unattractive as hell, I don't think this fight would be taking place. So, I mean, I kind of see what Sean Strickland's saying there. I do think he's taking the piss. So he talked about Amanda Nunes, and he says that any random guy, he says that all these reporters in the crowd would like destroy Amanda Nunes in a fight, and that's not true. That is not true. I mean, the average guy might think that he could beat up like Amanda Nunes or a top female fighter, but the reality is, if the average guy got into a boxing fight with, let's say, Katie Taylor, she would whoop his ass. And people just think because they're men, oh, we're much stronger, we're biologically stronger, but that only counts for so much. Now, an average male boxer would absolutely probably destroy the best female boxer in the world, but we're talking the average man. You know, the average man has no boxing skills. The average man is probably not in shape. You know, I think that a man could train boxing for 2 years and he could compete against the best female boxers in the world, but a guy that's not had a fight in his life, a guy that doesn't go to the gym, a guy that doesn't train, a guy that has no cardio and stamina, he's not gonna fight like a Katie Taylor and win. I mean, yeah, Katie Taylor might not have the strength that the average guy's got, but she's got technique, she's got skill, she's got speed, and after like 15 seconds, she would like throw a combination of punches, and you would be probably laid out on the floor. So yeah, I mean, there is levels. Of course, if you take a man and you take a woman and they've got similar experience at fighting, then the man's going to fucking whoop her, no doubt about that. But if you're taking a woman that is trained for years and years since she was a kid, and she's put like 20 years of hard work and determination into becoming like the best boxer or the best MMA fighter in the world, to think that an average fucking bum, some soy boy ordering Starbucks guy would beat her in a fight is insane. It just wouldn't happen. But I get it. You know, Sean Strickland, I think he's playing up, and I think he's just trying to come across as a comedian. I get his point, but I mean, I doubt the average reporter there would beat Amanda Nunes in a fight. And I don't know who he was talking about, because he just kind of looked at the room and went, "You guys would beat Amanda Nunes." But I mean, I doubt that. No, I doubt that very much. But anyway, guys, that's it. Let us know your thoughts down below. Rousey, Carano, are you watching it? Sean Strickland, he's taking a lot of heat for this, but yeah, it is what it is. I like Sean Strickland. He's entertaining. He's fighting this weekend, and I hope he wins. Let me know what you think down below. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.